After the second time, where I had met with my family, which was in a state of the dark night. Now, when I left that state, I came to the conclusion that I was not a person of faith. Even though I thought I knew God, I didn't know God. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that Christ was in me. I didn't know that Christ dwells in me. You know what I mean? I didn't know that He is I and I am He. Now the reason why I said that was because at that time I was living my life in fear. Are you a person of faith? You claiming that you know God, but then you lead your life in fear? If that's the case, let me tell you, you do not know God, guys. If you know God, if you know that Christ lives in you, He dwells in you, you know what I mean, then fear will just vanish out of your life, guys. Seriously speaking. After that moment, it's like, I don't know what fear feels like. You know what I'm saying? My chosen one, can't you see all these texts, all these stories, all these verses? Do not be afraid, I'm your God. Do not be afraid, I'm with you. Do not be afraid, I will lead you to where you need to be. All this, my chosen, is a confirmation for you not to be afraid. You know what I'm saying? My chosen one, fear is not the frequency of a chosen one. God, today is Wednesday, and this is how to change your frequency video. Yeah, I'm up like earlier than usual. Check this out. It feels like, even though we're in summer, it feels like we're in spring. Yeah. Oh my God. This is amazing, man. Hello, beautiful people of the world. This is Alula, and welcome to Awaken the Ego Within. My chosen one, if you haven't subscribed by now, you're missing out. Check me out on Insta for more videos and behind the scenes, guys. You know what I'm saying? Guys, today is Wednesday, which means today is all about frequencies. Now, the purpose for these videos, my chosen, is to help you vibrate on that level. So, you can be merged with everything that lives on that vibration, on that level, guys. Now, the topic for this week is that we're going to be talking about a frequency of fear once again, and reasons why, or how to let fear not bother you anymore. And most importantly, to know that in this new world, and this fifth D ascension, guys, that fear has no place. You know what I'm saying, guys? Now, I was struggling with this particular area early on in my life, but after I had my awakening, my chosen, it's like, I don't feel fear no more. And let me tell you now, it's not because of me, it's because of what I understand about me. You know what I mean? And what I understand about who dwells in me. And the last point is actually important, guys. Stick around to see. It's a point which really helped me in order for me to face my fears, and you know what I mean? And now I feel afraid less and less and less and less, guys. Seriously speaking. You know what I'm saying? So what is the first way to really kick this fear frequency out of your life, my chosen, is to know who dwells in you. And to know what dwells in you, guys. And most importantly is to know it's not by your might or it's not by your power, but by the power of the living Father that dwells in you. You know what I mean? Now I keep stressing on this point, which is in you, in you, in you. Now this is important, guys. The reason why this is important that everything that you need is within you. And the gods have placed the most important things within you. You know what I mean? Then it's not right for you to look for anything that is outside of yourself, guys. You know what I'm saying? When you know that God lives in you and you are simply a temple of the gods, guys, then you know whose you are. You know what you are, my chosen. Then fear will begin to disappear out of your life, guys. Let me tell you something. There's a big difference with reading the text and really believing this text. You know what I mean? After all, this behavior of this thinking of yours must be suppressed on your subconscious mind so that it becomes so automatic and then it just becomes who you are. That's why I said for some of you that are claiming to be a people of faith, but then if you lead your life in fear, then you have not really believed that God is within you. Maybe you're looking at God as something that is separate entity from you. You understand what I'm saying? Now is more important than ever, my chosen, to turn your attention inwardly. You know what I mean? It's like this world's gone berserk, guys. You know what I mean? Things that have never happened in our lives is happening, even in generations. You know what I mean? Facing pandemic, you know what I mean? Now there's even the talk of nuclear threats. Guys, there's fear all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? So, my chosen is more important than ever to know who you are, to know what you are, and most importantly to know that Christ dwells in you. But the trick is, my chosen, you gotta suppress this into your subconscious mind. Basically, you gotta believe it in your whole being, guys. Once you do, then fear has no room in your life anymore. Fear will begin to disappear out of your consciousness when you begin to have a knowledge of self. You know what I mean? People are afraid of things that do not understand. People are afraid of things that do not know. You know what I mean? So if you don't know yourself, if you don't know your capabilities, if you don't know what you can do, if you don't know your origin, things like this, guys, then you'll be afraid because you don't know what you are. Let me tell you, my chosen one, you are a special breed. There is a protection in your life even more than a president, let me tell you, because your protection is out of this world, guys. You know what I mean? And most importantly, you are favored by the gods. You are a son of a living Father that shines so brightly and that can blind these low entities, seriously speaking. Basically, to know that you're so powerful and to know that you are also a multi-dimensional being. You know what I'm saying? Not a single dimensional being, but multi-dimensional being. And also you have a power to speak things into existence. You see, all these things, guys, is knowledge of self. Once you have a knowledge of self, then, you know what I mean? You'll be afraid less and less and less. Because you know what your capabilities are. You know what you can do and you know what you cannot do. Know what I mean? The thing about life is this, right? Like the most strongest person can be defeated by the most weakest one, as long as that the strongest one doesn't know himself, but the weak one knows that he's weak. You understand what I'm saying? Knowledge of self is important in this new world, my chosen. You know what I mean? This is why this program is in place since your birth until now, to really shield you away from who you really are. They're trying to, this world, they're trying to tell you that you are a single dimensional being. Basically, you're flesh and blood, nothing else. You know what I mean? You go to school, go to university, graduate, get married, have kids, do the work, and pass on. You know what I mean? If you believe that's this kind of thing, my chosen, fear will creep into you. And this is how this Babylon runs, with fear. Let me tell you. You know what I mean? I shared yesterday now, if you are a person that is feeling afraid, you live your life in fear, guys, these things will make you submit, to be less than who you are. Not by your choice, but because of circumstance, because you feel afraid. You know what I mean? My chosen, get to know yourself. Learn about yourself. Learn about things that you've been created for. Learn about the gifts that the gods put in you, so that you will not be afraid anymore. Now let's go to the last point, and the most important point, actually. Now this point, guys, has helped me so much into, really suppressing this idea into my subconscious mind has been so beneficial for me in terms of not being afraid anymore. But it's kind of in a physical sense, guys. It's the idea of, let me wait for this train to pass so that my voice can be all clear, guys. You know what I mean? So now, guys, the last point would be this idea of acceptance of physical death. Physically, not spiritually, my chosen. We are spiritual beings. We never die spiritually, but physically, guys, we pass on. And things that happen physically, guys, is not even real. It's not even important, guys. You know what I'm saying? Once you understand that you're here for a certain time, everything is transitional. You know what I mean? Everything that comes from the ground, or whatever, must go back to the ground. And guys, death and life is the natural process of things. And accepting death, accepting that, this, guys, will make you live your life, with less fear. The most shameful thing that can happen to a man or woman is to be afraid of fear, have fear of death, guys. It's simply foolish, don't you think? And men and women are afraid of death as if they're certain it's the worst thing that could happen, that could happen to them. What is the best thing that could ever happen? You know what I mean? This idea of your own mortality, my chosen, you get to make peace with this in order for you to really not be afraid anymore. Ultimately, most of the fear in this physical world, in this three-dimensional world, it will lead to death kind of thing. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, it's I don't want to be, homeless, or I might get cold and die. You know what I'm saying, guys? People are always running to comfort as if it will make them skip death. What a fools, yo. Guys, once you accept death, you're gonna do some amazing things in this world. Let me tell you, guys. You know what I mean? Most of people's anxiety comes from things that we have no control over, guys. Seriously speaking. You do these three, actually not. Just do one of them, guys, and then you're gonna see. Especially the first one. Once you know whose you are, once you know whose God is in you, you know what I mean? That Jesus Christ is in you, guys. And then let me close with this verse. You know what I mean? He said that, do not be afraid, I'm with you. And most importantly, you'll be able to do things that I did even more than I did. You see that, guys? Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye. See you. Yeah.